Podcast Network Asia.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, a.k.a. Austin Creed.
I said give me a hell yeah!
Hey, this is Zeta Zay.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Talent is not sexually transmitted.
You need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks!
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I'm Lewis Howley. I'm Sam Scotia. We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the star, the NXT UK champion, and you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
You are watching and listening to the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stan C, together with Rowen ASH and Emile ASH, reporting from Dunder Mifflin in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Thank you very much for joining us on this week's live stream. So glad to be back. I couldn't make it to last week's stream because I had some important work stuff to get to on a Thursday evening. But I'm glad to be back. Great to have both of our ASHs here. Na-call up silang dalawa ngayon because Ro is at a work meeting. He's actually on his way home. So he might make his way into the stream about midway through the show, all right? We've got a big show because, as always, you got the Royal Rumble Premium Live event happening this time of the year. That's on Sunday, Manila time, 9 a.m. on Disney+. Doon na lang po ang mga WWE Premium Live events. Para sa mga nagtatanong kung makakayanan ba natin yung live stream from the get-go, hindi ko rin po alam ang sagot dahil hindi po ako taga Disney+. Para sa mga nagtatanong kung available na agad yung Tagalog commentary by then, ang sagot po, sana. Sana po. Alright? So, Carlo Pamintuan and I will still be calling it on the WWE Network for Disney+. So we hope that you'll get to join us kung available yung Tagalog option on Disney+ for both the live viewing and for the on-demand option. All right, before we get to our predictions, ang dami natin pag-uusapan ng news outside of the ring. But of course, we also got to let you know that now is as good a time as any to be part of our Wrestling Podcast patron community. So Rowen ASH, why don't you tell the good people about how to join Patreon?
That's right. So if you want to join us on the next WWE Premium Live event on Disney+, that's going to be the Royal Rumble on January 29th, Sunday morning Manila time. All you got to do is sign up to our Patreon. That's going to be patreon.com/wrestling podcast for only $5 or 275 pesos a month. If you sign up, you can have access to our Discord community where you can have watch parties with myself, Ro, Emile, and Stan while he's working on the Tagalog commentary with Carlo Pamintuan. And you will also get exclusive review content of the weekly shows and pay-per-views every week in abroad with AEW and WWE and so on, and as well as locally with MWF, WW, and FPW. If you want all of those, please sign up for our Patreon. That's patreon.com/the Wrestling Podcast. Again, for only $5 and 275 pesos a month.
All right, halatang hindi binasa ni Rowen ASH yung plug ng Patreon. Congratulations to Rowen for not choking on his ad read. Yes.
All right.
Palakpakan po tayo. All right. So yeah, let's start off with telling people as well that we're live on YouTube. It's something that we should have done years ago. 3 years into the streaming era, we're finally live streaming on YouTube. So go check it out if you miss watching us on a platform other than Facebook. All right. Let's start with our first news of the week, and that is about the free agency of Tetsuya Naito, formerly of New Japan. Well, technically, di ba kasi nga free agent siya. His contract has run out, and itong ganitong situations are actually very common when it comes to New Japan because only a very select few have these long-term deals, and even then, mga 1 year or 2 year deals that usually end right around this time of the year, which is why you had AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura both leave New Japan at the start of 2016. The Good Brothers kind of followed them right afterward. If I recall correctly, si Kushida also left New Japan right around this time of the year when he signed with WWE in, I believe, 2019 or 2020. So, Emile, let me get your thoughts on this. Is Naito going to re-up with New Japan, or do you think he'll be trying his luck elsewhere?
I do think eventually he will re-sign with New Japan. But the question here that I'm a Naito fan, super fan of Tetsuya Naito. I don't think there's anything else that Naito needs to do in New Japan. And he's one of those guys that nagawa na niya lahat ng possible na kaya niyang gawin. He won a G1. He had the main event at Wrestle Kingdom. He won the championship at the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. So parang yun na yung pinaka peak na pinaka peak na everyone in New Japan strives for, and he has already done it. So for me, for the longest time, I always want to see Naito go over to the western side of the world and actually try to be there for the long term, because I mean he was in few New Japan US shows, but that was still under the banner of New Japan. And I really think he would thrive in a US promotion, because he has already proven that he can get over anywhere in the world. And he was so over at one point, even to the Western audience, that the merch from his faction LIJ were outselling the Bullet Club merch. So even though I think that he would eventually re-sign with New Japan, I would love to see Naito in AEW or even in WWE. Saka for me, he also needs a change of scenery. He's been doing the same thing in New Japan after he lost his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
To be fair, dun sinabi mo, Emile, na LIJ merch has been outselling Bullet Club merch. Medyo past their prime na rin naman kasi yung Bullet Club as a stable, diba? Whereas there was a point where LIJ really was the biggest stable in Japanese wrestling. So Janelle in the comments is saying that if he signs with WWE, it might be better to send him to NXT first to make Western audiences more familiar with him. I think there's a point right there, because let's be honest, hindi naman lahat ng wrestling fans nanonood ng New Japan. Kung hindi nga lahat nanonood ng AEW, di ba? What more the promotions outside of the big two in the US?
Yeah.
Emile, did you want to say something?
Oh, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. No, I thought you wanted to say something. Yun lang, just some quick thoughts there. And, you mentioned Naito possibly moving to AEW. I don't know what to say about that, because what roster space, diba? I mean, wala namang salary cap si Tony Khan or any promotion for that matter. But we know how bloated the roster of AEW has gotten. I mean, where's Miro right now? Diba? He's not injured as far as we know.
Yeah, so like Miro has been off TV parang for so long now. And nagtataka ako, when will he come back? I think he's cleared to compete naman. It's just that creative has nothing for him. Diba?
Yes, Rowen. I mean, not to make it about Miro, because he's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Naito here. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Na the roster of AEW is so bloated to a point where if someone like Naito, even as big of a star as he is, chooses to make his way over there, it's going to be really difficult for someone like him to stand out. It's amazing to me that Takeshita has stood out the way that he has. I don't know if there's space for Naito in AEW is what I'm saying. Hindi ko rin alam kung there will be space for him in WWE. I'd love to see WWE try and make space for Tetsuya Naito. What we do know is na mas na-confirm or mas nauna na-confirm yung pagka-free agent ni Naito over Jay White and Hikuleo, who according to yung mga reports on the internet, are also supposedly free agents, also reportedly sinusuyo ng WWE. So, just something to think about. Since we did talk about AEW, let's cross over there, unless either of you ASHs would like to add to yung conversation on Naito.
That's okay, we can move on.
I'm good, yeah.
All right, sige. Let's move to AEW and talk about the Briscoes. That's because finally, the Briscoes have been allowed to appear on AEW television, albeit, sadly it took the unfortunate passing of Jay Briscoe for this to happen. It was a very emotional main event on Dynamite kanina, which saw Jay Briscoe's brother Mark take on Jay Lethal. I hate wrestling deaths. I hate it when this happens. This is not how I want emotion to bleed into my wrestling. But the bigger story here is the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of TBS and TNT, where AEW airs its TV shows, they finally relented to having the Briscoes appear on AEW programming. So, Emil, as someone who has followed the Briscoes, someone who enjoyed your main event kanina, how do you feel about Warner Brothers Discovery finally relenting?
Yun na nga, no, sinabi mo, Stan, na it is a shame that it took one of them dying for them to allow the Briscoes on AEW TV. Ang super nakakainis lang dito is the Young Bucks and the TK, they vouched for the Briscoes since nung matagal na. They've been vouching for them for a long time to get the Briscoes on TV. And by all accounts, like, Jay, the comments regarding what Jay said, ibang ano yun eh, iba-iba na siya eh. He changed, he was accountable for what he said, and matigas pa rin yung ulo ni Warner Brothers Discovery, and yun lang, nakakapanghinayang na dapat umabot pa sa ganon before they allow the Briscoes in AEW. But nonetheless, it was the main event earlier in Dynamite. No, I enjoyed it because they finally had a proper tribute. I mean, they really did the tribute last week, but this time it was on not nationwide audience in front of millions of people who was watching it on TBS, and we got to see Mark Briscoe, who is one half of the Briscoes, go out there and have a really good match against Jay Lethal, one of the biggest rivals of Jay Briscoe throughout his career. And yung pinaka gusto ko doon is at the end of the match, everyone who was in AEW who worked on Ring of Honor during that time came out to give their love to Mark and also paid their tributes to Jay Briscoe. Yun lang, nakainayang lang na sa ganitong sitwasyon pala mangyayari yung pag-allow ng Warner Brothers for the Briscoes to be on TV. Nakasad lang.
Yeah. Sabi nga ni Ina in the comments, no, it's too little, too late. I have no idea what AEW plans to do with the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Ito sabi ni Glendale, hope Mark wins the ROH World Championship. He might get a Rey Mysterio run out of it. It's really sad, what happened here. I guess whatever silver lining is, they were able to do something special for Jay Briscoe on what would have been his 39th birthday. That's today, by the way. Yung kanyang 39th birthday. So, yun, that's really it. Ikaw, Rowen, I know that you're on break from school right now. Were you able to catch the main event from Dynamite?
Oh, sobra. Thanks to TK that this match happened. It's an incredible main event. And it was a fun and emotional match. And thank God nangyari to. If TK didn't talk, he did his best to talk to Warner Brothers, hindi to mangyayari. Kaya it's really cool na niluwagan na ng Warner Brothers yung policy nila and lifted the ban of the Briscoes from AEW programmings.
Eto, let me ask you guys this, people in the comments as well as our two ASHs. What do you think should Ring of Honor / Tony Khan do with the tag team titles? Should Mark just vacate the titles? Should they be retired in honor of Jay Briscoe? Should there be a Jay Briscoe Memorial Tournament to crown a new set of tag team champions? Should Mark have another tag team partner? What do you guys think?
I've thought of this while watching the match. I don't mean it in a bad tone. Like, kasi I also ask myself, why does Mark have to carry the other title? Why are they still the tag team champions even though his partner, his brother, has already died? Ako, naisip ko would be the title designs mismo would be retired and then they would come up with the new designs. And then eventually there's going to be a tournament to crown a new champion. And siguro, while they're at it, yun na nga, Jay Briscoe Memorial Cup and for the title belts na rin.
So basically, lahat ng sinabi ko kanina. Okay.
Yeah.
Emile, ikaw, what do you think should Tony Khan and Ring of Honor do with the tag team title situation?
Same thing din, no? Because if I remember correctly, when Brody Lee died, they retired that design of the belt. And so I think what will happen here is also they will I mean, to be fair, itong current title design na to, this is already like a throwback. This is like,
yeah,
nirevive nila yung like the first
retro
designs of the Ring of Honor tag team titles. So maybe retire that in honor of the Briscoes, and then have a new design, like, or they can bring back the design that the tag team titles had before they revived the old one, and also siguro have a tournament, and or maybe. Now, I don't want Mark Briscoe to like replace Jay Briscoe with another partner to defend the tag team titles. So maybe yun, gawin silang parang eternal ROH yung old design, and then have a new one, and parang may tournament or ganon to crown a new champion.
All right. One last note on AEW before we go to WWE. Let's talk about this match, which had me and Rose salivating from the moment it was announced. Bryan Danielson's 5 Labors circa 2023 continues with Timothy Thatcher. This is happening next week on Dynamite. And I've been a fan of Thatcher since I first saw him on NXT. And I know that his career has gotten way before NXT, so medyo latecomer ako into the Thatcher fandom. But holy crap, I can't believe we are getting this matchup. Rowen, are you familiar with Timothy Thatcher's work? And is this the type of match that would make you want to sink your teeth into it?
I want to be completely honest with you guys. I haven't seen much of Timothy Thatcher's works, but I rarely watch NXT kasi during his run there. But I did saw him sub for Pete Dunne and team up with Matt Riddle for the NXT tag titles. Yeah. And then also yung first ever Fight Pit match with Riddle. That's what I first saw him in. And with that, I actually want him. Nung nakita ko yun, parang this guy has everything. He can do everything in the main roster. Back then, nandun pa si Bryan Danielson sa WWE, di ba? I actually thought they would make a great match. They would kill it, blow the roof off the house, and it didn't happen in WWE because he got released. And then actually, umalis si Bryan, and then eventually na-release si Tim, and then now we're getting it.
Tim.
Yeah, I mean Riddle called him Tim, so makikitim na lang din ako. Anyways, yeah, it is happening on Dynamite. It's gonna be what do they call this technical mat classic, parang ganun ba? That's
yes,
what
labas natin lahat ng mga cliche. Technical mat classic, banger, 5-star classic, all of that stuff. Labas natin lahat ng cliche. Let's just throw it into this match.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, magkakaroon sila ng intense na yakapan, like BJJ, you know?
Okay. Ikaw, Emile, your thoughts on this announcement from AEW for next week's show?
I will not be surprised if Bryan himself requested this match. Because like this run of Bryan, parang gusto niya lang kalabanin yung the best of the best in the wrestling world. And Timothy Thatcher is one of those best technical wrestlers in the world. So I don't think there's nothing much else need to be said, but this is gonna be a banger next week.
Yes, yeah. Labas pa tayo ng more cliches. Right, if you guys want to be more familiar with Timothy Thatcher's work, tama tong sinabi ni Glendale, go find his match with Minoru Suzuki. I remember when I was quarantining because I had COVID-like symptoms in 2021. That was one of the matches that helped me literally get energy back into my bloodstream. So that was a really fun match. Na-mention din ni Ina yung association ni Thatcher because he is with Pro Wrestling Noah. So likely part ng talent exchange because Sting and Darby Allin did go over to Noah. It was part of the Great Muta's last match. So baka ito yung part where Noah is holding up their end of the deal. So that's something to keep in mind as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, and we're going to start doing our Royal Rumble predictions. But first, let's hear from our other podcasts on Podcast Network Asia. All right, thank you so much to everybody who's leaving comments on both the Facebook stream and on the YouTube stream. Really glad that we finally figured out the technology to do the simultaneous streams on both Facebook and on YouTube. We're not sure kung merong audio-only part itong podcast natin because we're really doing the Royal Rumble prediction. So we'll see kung meron pang matira for that. But right now, I want to go straight into Raw is 30 or the Raw 30th anniversary show because it was a huge episode primarily because of the trial of Sami Zayn. So that was the highlight of the show. What an explosive way, diba, to kick off Monday Night Raw. The acting was top notch. I'm gonna go out and declare this my pick of the week in advance of next week's picks of the week episode. And I don't know what else to say about the trial of Sami Zayn that hasn't been said other than nakakagulat na it was Jey Uso who saved Sami of all people. And that there was this overwhelming amount of evidence from Paul Heyman to supposedly paint Sami as the pinaka sagabal sa bloodline. Rowan, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a person in your life that's kind of like Sami Zayn? Because going through the trial of Sami Zayn, like he checks a lot of boxes for somebody that I know, like running away, sabotaging, calling his shot ng di tapos, inadvertently offending people. Do you know someone like that in your life?
Oh yeah. Kilala ko to eh. It's myself, sadly. It's a pretty sad high school life,
So ano nangyari sa'yo? Were you declared guilty or not guilty?
Well, there was a trial, and then parang the trial is that if I should stay in the group chat ng mga barkada.
Wait. So you actually went to wrestler's court for your barkada?
Yeah, and the thing...
oh my God.
Ang nakakagulat dito,
Wow.
ang nakakagulat dito, I wasn't even aware na there was a trial about me.
All right, okay.
Kaya
did you have a defense? Did you have a lawyer?
Wala. Like nagulat na ako, I was kicked out. And sabi nila majority votes. And then yung naglilider na kaibigan was like saying bullshit. Like, we're kicking this guy out too because, he did something stupid.
Your friends are assholes.
Damn. Yeah, they are assholes. I don't need them. I wasn't even doing something stupid. I was just being myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay. Not to make this about Rowan and his therapy and his high school issues. I'm really sorry if that opened a can of worms, by the way.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was not referring to you at all.
No. It's all right. It's all done. It's all the.
All right. Let's bring it back to the trial of Sami Zayn and let's go to this question from the chat. What do you think is Sami Zayn's last test of loyalty? Emile, ikaw.
I really think it's a Royal Rumble match mismo. I think that's gonna be where, again, nagpa-fantasy booking lang ako in my head, no? Like, possibly when, like, siguro 2 people left. Like, siguro sabihin natin pumasok si Roman Reigns sa Royal Rumble. I don't know
why would Roman Reigns be in the Royal Rumble, Emile?
Okay, scrap that. Sorry.
Actually, I have a question about that, but I'll say it later. I have a question about that. Yeah.
Pero probably the last loyalty test for Sami is like costing Kevin Owens the match.
Yeah, like that's the obvious one, diba? Kasi KO is the big problem right now. Yeah, but like I see what you're trying to say, Emile. Something along the lines of Sami Zayn being so close to winning the Royal Rumble and then denying himself that opportunity so that he doesn't get in the crosshairs of the tribal chief.
Exactly. That's the one I'm getting to. Hindi ko lang ma-picture on how they're gonna do it, but that's maybe one of the 2 scenarios of the loyalty test for Sami.
Mm-hmm. Ito sabi ni Leo, abangan sa SmackDown if Roman and Sami will cross paths or not. I actually believe na Sami won't piss off Roman on SmackDown. I think na he'll actually be kept off the show to get the people wanting more. And then come Royal Rumble, yun na, the ultimate test, diba? Whatever that test will be. I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn makes his presence felt in the Royal Rumble match just because, and we'll get to this in the predictions, I think it just makes so much sense kung nandun siya. So yung nasabi ko kanina na Sami costs himself the Royal Rumble win might actually be that final test. And I don't know, I only know as much as you guys know, diba? So ikaw, Rowan, what do you think this final test of loyalty could be?
Okay, first off, I just want to say the drama is incredible. And I like yung part after this, like yung tag team title match that si Sami nag-sub siya for the injured Jimmy Uso. And that would be my pick of the week. I just want to say that first. Sorry, what's the question again?
What do you think the final test of loyalty is?
Okay, I think it's written on the wall na that it's going to be involving Kevin Owens if he's gonna betray him. Feeling ko Sami would have a moral dilemma kasi of course he's known Kevin for so long, and I think magdadalawang isip siya if he really needs the bloodline or will he really help Kevin Owens? Or I mean, does he really need the bloodline? I mean, you know, based from what we saw on Raw, parang his royalty remains with the bloodline. And as you can see, yun na nga, as I mentioned, Sammy subbed for the injured Jimmy Uso in order for the successful defense of the Usos and have their long reign continue. Kaya
Yeah.
feeling he will still stay with the bloodline. Pero magkakaalaman pa rin tayo in the coming premium live event. Siguro baka in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Sammy would also be in that very match when Roman would be defending it. I'm just assuming, pero baka hindi mangyari yun.
Right. So you brought up a good point, Rowan. What the question is more of, does Sami Zayn need the bloodline or does the bloodline need Sami Zayn more? Diba? Now, I think that's what they're trying to paint here, especially with Jey Uso's defense. Diba? Kung si Paul Heyman naglabas siya ng mixtape of 4 times where Sami Zayn ran away or cost the bloodline or whatever. Jey Uso took it one step further and gave 5 examples of when he took bullets for the bloodline or saved their championship reigns. So even yung pag-sub-in nga ni Sami Zayn for an injured Jimmy Uso adds to the total of times where he actually helped the bloodline out. So it's something for you guys to chew on as we head into the Royal Rumble Premium Live event na who needs who more? I think we all know the answer naman talaga is the bloodline needs Sami Zayn more at this point, diba?
Yeah. So, I mean, sabi nga ni Emile last week, like, Sammy is kind of realizing that, actually, does he realize? Or basta parang, we can see that the bloodline is just using Sammy. And yun na rin nga ang sinabi ni Kevin Owens. Pero of course, Sammy is still loyal to the bloodline. And then yun na nga, nagdadalawang isip pa rin siya.
Eto sabi ni Leo, I hope Cody Rhodes doesn't do a Batista at the Royal Rumble. I'm assuming na you're talking about 2014. Batista.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Cody Rhodes is equally popular. That's the thing. I think that's what separates 2014 Batista from 2023 Cody and 2023 Sammy.
Before the break, it could have been worse, like The Rock doing a Batista. That's way worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're not going to break. We're going to
sorry.
Women's steel cage match, which should have happened on Raw this past week. Didn't happen. Reportedly dahil daw sa time constraints because siguro nag-overextend yung trial of Sami Zayn or nag-overextend yung tag team championship match between the Judgment Day and the Usos. So ang sabi-sabi is yung naging result is they had to cut the steel cage match, which is why Damage Control just beat up Becky Lynch. So Emile, what did you think about this? Kasi ako nagulat ako. I really was expecting Becky and Bayley to go beat each other up in a steel cage on the 30th anniversary of Raw. And I was surprised na we didn't get that.
When this happened, nagulat ako na bakit ganito kasi they advertised a steel cage match. They've been building up towards this match for a while. But then, ganun lang yung nangyari, angle lang. Considering it happened early on the second hour of the show. So, madami pang oras. So, bakit nila to kinakat into just an angle? And then, reports circulated right after Raw that the reason why this was cut short was because nag-overtime yung Bloodline segment. And, it's unfortunate timing. No, siguro nagkamali lang yung WWE in planning the show na hindi nila na-anticipate na this and this would happen. That's why ang nagkaroon ng this match took the brunt of the time constraints. It's unfortunate because there were parts in the later hours of the show na I don't think it was necessary for those to even run on the show. For example, they could have cut the Bianca versus Sonya match because it literally didn't serve any purpose except for the post match promo with Alexa Bliss. So they could have used that time, I guess, but they didn't do it. So hindi naman siya. I don't think it's anything against Becky and Bayley. It's just it is just unfortunate timing on their end.
Etong si Janelle sabi niya that he thought it was something new thought that it was actually executed well. Ikaw, Rowan, do you agree with that? Did you like how they handled yung steel cage match because of time constraints?
For me, it sucks because I was looking forward for the match as well. It's been 19 years actually since women's steel cage match happened on Raw, which I think the last one was Lita versus Victoria, yung Raw Roulette yun eh. I'm still hopeful that this match can still happen, whether it's going to be on the Royal Rumble or next week's Raw. It can still happen. And on the positive note, though, I like how Damage Control looked like the Nexus here. Parang I just saw something in them na parang nagmukha silang Nexus. Very mischievous. Actually, not even the Nexus. Parang Miz and R-Truth pa nga because they locked the steel cage, diba? And they were all inside. Remember when Hell in a Cell 2011 happened? Nandun yung Awesome Truth. They were already unemployed by then. And then they attacked everyone inside the Hell in a Cell. And then they can't raise the cage. Parang ganun.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would use the word mischievous to refer to Damage Control because like when you use the word mischievous, it means alam mo yung medyo mapang asar like someone like Loki in the MCU. Right. But like what Damage Control did was straight up savage, diba? If you're referring to like the beatdown that they put Becky Lynch through. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with Becky Lynch and with Damage Control. Like you, Rowan, umaasa rin ako na we get the steel cage match next week or 2 weeks down the road, maybe at a premium live event. I doubt we're getting it at the Rumble, though, because I think all of these women will be involved in the Women's Royal Rumble. And we're going to get to that right now. Because we're going to do the Royal Rumble predictions.
Yeah.
Stan, may I add something?
Yes, student Emile, please go ahead.
I think it was okay to cut this match kasi it was either the match is cut or Becky and Bailey would have like 2 to 5 minutes of airtime for this match. So imbis na bitin, they would just move it to another time, which I think would be better overall for this storyline and for Becky and Bailey.
I want to add something.
I get what you're saying here. Kasi parang yung give Divas a chance ulit, diba? I remember that when the Bellas faced Paige and Emma, diba? So parang feeling ko talo talaga si Raw either way eh. Because of the lack of time.
I want to add something. So Emile mentioned earlier na if they didn't cut or if they cut the Bianca match, parang it's gonna look bad for Bianca kasi she's the champion and I think she needs to be featured. That's what I thought at first din eh. Like they should have cut the Bianca match as well so that the steel cage match can still happen. Pero yun na nga, she's the champion, so I think they need to feature the champion on Raw.
Yeah, I think yung nangyari naman talaga is not something that we would see in the current regime of Raw Creative. And I think na wala eh, nagkataon na 30th anniversary, you have to bring out the legends. So, syempre, you'll have to have segments and promos dedicated to legends, diba? Kasi syempre, yung mga casuals, yun din yung habol nila eh. But for people like us, who are really more into the current storylines, into the action, medyo dehado talaga tayo pagdating sa ganyan. Wala, it's really just the name of the game, diba? It's the nature of the beast. If you're gonna pull out all the other cliches once again. Yeah, predictions na. Let's go to our Royal Rumble predictions. And let's start with the Raw Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. All right, Bianca has been champion since WrestleMania 38. Ito na ba? Is Alexa Bliss the one competitor who's gonna take it from Bianca Belair? Let's start with Emile.
No, I don't think Alexa is the one to defeat Bianca Belair for the women's champion because even at the start of this feud, ang tingin ko talaga kay Alexa, she's just a stopgap to the reign of Bianca Belair. So I'm still going with Bianca Belair because I think there's someone else who is primed to beat Bianca for the title, but it's not Alexa.
All right. Do you think it's the Royal Rumble winner?
Yes, and I will get to that later.
All right. Ikaw, Rowan.
Yeah, well, Emile already said what I'm going to say, but all I can say is Bianca, because I hate this version of Alexa Bliss. I hate everything that has to do with Bray Wyatt, and later on, I'm not going to pick... Actually, I'm going to pick pick him. Pero, I hate everything that has something to do with Bray Wyatt. Yun nga,
Bakit?
there's something... I hate Bray Wyatt kasi he's just cryptic and I don't understand what he's saying. And every single week, parang wala namang nangyayari. He keeps cutting promos about something I don't even understand. Are they gonna even show who Uncle Howdy is? Tapos late na rin nila
They have shown
pinakita
Uncle Howdy. Have you not been watching Raw and SmackDown? He appeared.
I did. Kaya, no, I was referring to my question noon, like, when are they gonna show Uncle Howdy? Tapos late na
Ito
rin nila
na, nagpakita na.
Exactly. Nagpakita na rin si Uncle Howdy. Kaya, like, why does Bray Wyatt have to have promos? Tapos, it will take a while for the build-up. Parang ganon. And it irritates me. I just don't want that. I've never been in favor of Bray's return, and I've never been in favor with Alexa going back to this play and pain gimmick.
So yung frustration mo is how stretched out the storytelling has been for Bray Wyatt. Like, he came back nung Extreme Rules in October, and then January na, and feeling mo parang masyadong matagal yung build-up. Ganon.
Yeah, kasi like, I still believe in rumors that there's gonna be like a Wyatt faction. And of course, kung si Alexa Bliss, she's involved, she's gonna be part of it. Ibig sabihin, like, even after WrestleMania, magre-recruit pa si Bray Wyatt and magdadagdag ng members. But yeah, again, about the predictions, I picked Bianca, and I feel like it's not the time that she will drop the title because there is someone reserved for her to drop the title to.
All right. Sige. Since na-trigger na si Rowan with the Bray Wyatt talk, let's talk about the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match between your boy Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. Sige, Rowan, labas mo na lahat na sama ng loob mo.
Okay, 3 words. Bray wins, lol.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Bray because, the match type is basically relating to him. Kaya feeling ko he's gonna win this one. I mean, I remember when he faced Randy Orton in that House of Horror match, siya rin yung nanalo. So anything that has something to do with Bray, he's gonna win for sure. Kung match type niya yun, it's his own game.
Mm-hmm. Ikaw, Emile.
You know what? I want to see LA Knight win this match.
Are you actually predicting LA Knight winning?
Yeah. I
okay.
Am. Because sa feud na to, si LA Knight yung nagdadala eh. Like Bray with all this mystical stuff, all of them feels flat to me. And the one shining star in this feud is LA Knight. So I want LA Knight to win this match. Because di ko pa rin nagigets yung Bray Wyatt character eh. Like, they've been building up to something and they build yung complaints ni Rowen. It's so slow. Like, ano ba yung katapusan nitong Bray Wyatt thing na to? And I simply don't get it. So, and with LA Knight naman, I am entertained every time he goes on SmackDown and even on Raw on Raw this week. So, I want to see LA Knight win this one. And maybe they'll have a rematch down the line where Bray can get his win and all of this building up can actually lead to something. But as of right now, I'm going with LA Knight.
All right, I'm actually in the minority here where I actually enjoy the Bray Wyatt stuff. I mean, granted, it has taken long. Yun, agree ako dun sa inyo na, okay, Bray hasn't wrestled at all since he came back from Extreme Rules, diba? This Pitch Black match will be his first actual match since his comeback. But I actually enjoy the storytelling. I actually like how he's wrestling with his demons. The Bray Wyatt we're seeing really is a babyface, but we're seeing this different layer, like the fact that he dresses differently, he actually looks differently, and yet we're getting the return of the Firefly Funhouse. Diba nagparamdam ulit sina Huskus, sina Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard. I love these characters. I don't know what I love about it other than it's so deranged, and it reminds me of movies like Split, that the James McAvoy film, diba, where he has all these personalities. And while it's a very inappropriate portrayal of DID, I like the idea of this guy, Bray Wyatt, who's been so deranged na talagang nag-fracture yung utak niya na, he's got like Uncle Howdy and the Firefly Funhouse version of himself and God knows what else lurking around the corner. So, I don't know about you guys in the comments sa Facebook and YouTube. Let us know. Kasi on this podcast, I am in the minority. Ro, as he's talked about for weeks, is also not a fan of the Bray Wyatt storytelling. So, As for the match itself, none of us have any idea what a pitch black match is. So it could be a cinematic match, like what Glendale is alluding to. Si Admin Angelo seems to have a problem with the branding. Rowan, remember our conversation on the progressive match flow, di ba? So uulitin lang natin para kay Admin Angelo para maintindihan niya na hindi tayo magagalit sa sponsors. Wala tayong magalit sa sponsors, okay?
Yeah.
Pera yan
sa pera dyan.
Ba't tayo tatanggi sa pera, di ba? Chinese ako, di ako tatanggi sa pera. Okay? Alright, move on na tayo to our next match, and that is the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match between Kevin Owens and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. And this is basically the third match in a trilogy that started all the way back in TLC 2020. PSA pala sa mga nanonood at nakikinig. The first two matches are available on YouTube for free and in full. Alright, so if you want to catch up on the TLC match from 2020 and yung Last Man Standing match from Royal Rumble in the Thunderdome, it's on the WWE YouTube channel in full and for free. In the meantime, Rowan, call your shot. Who's winning the championship at the end of the Royal Rumble?
Sami Zayn will cost Kevin Owens. Roman will win this one. I feel like yung drama will still continue up to Elimination Chamber. Again, the question is, where does Sammy's loyalty lie? Will it be with the bloodline and Kevin or Kevin Owens, his close friend for so many years? I've been wanting to see what the outcome of this drama, this storyline will be. And I think this is the time na magkakaalaman tayo kung where does Sammy lie.
Mm-hmm. All right, ikaw, Emile.
I mean, obviously, Roman will retain. Ang question na lang dito is how he wins. Will Sammy be involved? Will Sammy cost KO the title?
Will there be a DQ finish?
Yeah, because obviously it won't be a clean victory since yung theme ng title Lady Roman Reigns are like yung mga dubious finish, yung may mga interference, mga DQ. So yun lang yung magiging question dito, no, is how he will win. But Roman wins.
Eto, madidisappoint ba kayo if Sami Zayn doesn't get involved at all?
No. Kasi it's okay. Kasi may storyline naman eh. So hindi naman kawalan kung hindi magiging involved si Sami with this match.
Ikaw, Rowan, kasi you seem to be so hell-bent on, Sami will get involved and he's gonna cost KO the title. What if that doesn't happen?
It's actually interesting now that you mentioned that kung mangyayari yun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing or a bad thing. Pero if that's gonna be the case, I wanna see it because anything can happen. Like, paano yung process? Like, is it gonna be for Roman or Kevin to win this one? Like, Sammy not being involved. Like, how will that happen? Like, will there be a clean finish? There's gonna be a DQ finish if Sammy wasn't involved. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, something to chew on. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll predict both men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts on Podcast Network Asia. All right, it's time for us to predict the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. Let's start with the ladies first, the women's Royal Rumble match. And very different yung pag-promote ni WWE sa women's Royal Rumble this year, because if you compare it with last year, sobrang daming announcements, diba, heading into the Rumble na so-and-so legend will appear. Mickie James, the Impact Knockouts champion, is gonna be in the women's Royal Rumble. And I remember heading into the actual premium live event, I think mga 15 to 20 na yung announced names by then. At this point, the women on this graphic, sila pa lang yung announced. And we're 4 days away from the Royal Rumble. So it's Emma, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Candice LeRae, and Zelina Vega. That's it. Sila pa lang yung announced. So what do you guys think about this one before we get to the actual predictions?
I think it's weird na they are still doing yung like, I declare myself to enter the Royal Rumble match. They've been doing that for years, and naalala ko, they never did that before. Parang they would just show up at the pay-per-view. Pero based from last year, no, like what you said, ang daming promote, including Mickey James from Impact. So nakakapanibago that konti lang yung mga nag-declare. And what's gonna disappoint you is that the same people who entered last year and from the previous years, like Michelle McCool or Kelly, would still be the people involved in this 30 women Royal Rumble match.
Here's
Kasi,
the thing, Rowan. Let me cut you off lang kasi Leo's also saying na, puro Hall of Famers and NXT roster ang sasalo. The women's roster is actually pretty deep now that Triple H has brought back so many people. And like Leo mentions, there's an NXT roster of women. So I don't think there's a dearth of talent to get from.
Here's what I'm actually hoping, no. Like, NXT women's roster lang yung magiging involved. Siguro, like, dalawang Hall of Famer lang. That would be fine. Like, siguro Beth Phoenix. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for the surprise appearance. And, like, the other women who hasn't declared their entry for the Royal Rumble match.
Ikaw, Emile, what do you think of this? Na, yun nga, 7 women pa lang yung announced. Na, yun nga, it's very different coming from last year.
Nakalungkot lang, no, because this basically summarizes the state of the women's division as of right now. Na aside from the main feuds and whatever Damage Control is doing, like wala masyadong ganap eh. Balik na naman tayo to the problem that we had over years ago of not enough women being featured on the main shows. I mean, hell, the SmackDown title scene, hindi ko masyado ramdam eh, because of, I don't know, maybe Ronda Rousey wasn't that great of a champ when she was the champion, and there wasn't really any women on that show that is enough to keep me interested. But yun, it's such a sad thing lang, no, and compared to last year. And pero I think babawi naman yung match when it comes to surprise entrance. Like, maybe we'll see a lot more NXT girls because mas interested ako sa women's division ng NXT than SmackDown. So I wish we could see like sila Tiffany Stratton, sila Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade. So yung limited number of announced people that are gonna be in the Rumble is actually pasok siya dun sa gusto ko na a lot of like NXT or surprise appearance heading into na mag-appear dun sa match.
All right, you mentioned your surprise entrance. Sige, we'll get to yours in a bit, Rowan. Sure. I want to stick with Emile muna. You mentioned Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade. Sino pang nasa bingo card mo for surprise entrance for the Women's Royal Rumble?
Ako? Or,
yeah.
Sino pa ba? Maybe, the one name that fantasy booking lang for me, but that I want to appear, and I know maybe it's not possible, but what about Kyrie Sane?
Okay.
Because that's like tinitease natin nila. They've been posting pictures like sila they've been posting pictures together, and parang may tinitease nila yung mga fans na maybe she'll gonna appear at the Rumble. So maybe it will not happen, but who knows?
All right. Sige, ikaw, Rowan, what did you want to ask?
So yeah, so 7 women lang yung promoted as of the moment.
Yeah.
If there were 12 women like promoted, here's the case kasi. There are like 4 or 5 women who are sidelined with an injury and one who is dealing with mental issues on the women's roster. Do you think if they are not sidelined with such inactivity, do you think with 12 halimbawa yung promote would be fine?
I mean, either way, the Royal Rumble match is a spectacle in and of itself. So whether you have one announced entrant or 20 announced entrants, spectacle pa rin siya. Ma-hype pa rin tayo, ma-excite pa rin tayo. I guess what I'm just trying to point out is I don't remember the last Women's Royal Rumble na days heading into it, 7 pa lang announced entrants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Pero what's weird din kasi from last year, like when everyone was announced, parang na-spoil na rin tayo. I felt positive about it because of just one Mickey James announcement. Pero looking back, parang I didn't like it as well. Pero
so mas gusto mo to na maraming question marks?
Medyo.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Only kung siguro if sa SmackDown, magdagdag sila ng konti, that would be fine.
Eto sabi ni Derv, Green Day on Sunday, referring to Chelsea Green, who was reportedly hired back ng WWE, no? Ikaw, Rowan, who are your surprise entrants? Because Derv is calling a shot and he thinks Chelsea Green is reappearing.
I was actually gonna mention Chelsea Green kasi naisip ko yung mister niya yung magsusurprise entrance for the Men's Rumble. So, yeah, why not? Chelsea Green, sino pa ba pwede? I don't know much of a free agent at the moment. So, I'll
Kahit
stick
from NXT.
Kahit from NXT. I don't know. Si Tiffany Stratton, si Saray, who else?
I can't believe nobody's mentioned Toxic Attraction. Like,
Yeah,
I
actually,
think
yeah,
JC and Gigi are main roster ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Someone, ako naisip ko kasi is one half of the Toxic Attraction lang, because maybe they would debut sa after WrestleMania pa.
Mm-hmm. Stevie, don't be mean to Chelsea Green like that. Come on. Okay, let's talk winner picks here. Who do you think is likeliest to win, and who do you think should win? So magkaibang tanong yan, ha? Yung who should win, parang kahit na suntok sa buwan, this person really needs to win the most. So let's start with Emile.
Actually, isa lang yung sagot ko sa parehas sa tanong. It's Rhea Ripley. And she's the one that I was referring to earlier when I said there's only one woman credible enough on the roster that I think could actually beat Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship. And it's Rhea Ripley because siya lang yung women right now sa roster who's getting the most airtime. She's been featured the most. And she is one of the factors as to why Judgment Day is one of the best groups on TV as of this moment. And napaka-obvious that they have been saving this Rhea-Bianca match for something big. And there's no other time for it than at WrestleMania. And Bianca and Rhea is like the Batista and John Cena of this generation.
Damn.
So, yeah.
That's high praise.
Yeah. Yun na nga. Kasi they, like, yung similarity sila, they also won their first titles at WrestleMania. Same with Batista and John, like, years ago. So, but di pa sila naghaharap ever since that moment. And to me, they need to build it up to WrestleMania, and the way for it to happen is for Rhea to win the Royal Rumble and challenge Belair for the women's title.
Okay. Ikaw, Rowan.
For me, okay, magkaiba yung sagot ko for each question. So first, who should win for me is Rhea Ripley, just like Emile said. For me kasi, parang siya lang yung nag-stand out among the women's roster from both SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah.
Parang siya lang yung mas prominently featured weekly, and I think she deserves it more. However, sa likeliest to win, magpa+1 ako sa sinabi ni Ro, and it's gonna be Bayley, because I think their rivalry is still not over ni Bianca. So I think they would have a part 4 at WrestleMania.
All right. That's a great pick. To answer Glendale's question, yung dark horse pick, my dark horse pick is actually Bayley. Just because, one, hindi pa siya announced. And two, she has kind of slid down since she took L after L against Bianca. So I think Bayley is a dark horse pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, to add lang, the way I see Bayley winning is like how Randy Orton won 2009. Like, some remaining members of Damage Control will help her to win the
I think
Rumble
that's the point, diba? Damage Control is her legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Diba? Ito sabi ni Derv at ni Alan in the comments, mga surprise entrants, Meiko Satomura, Dark Asuka or Asuka. I just want to shout out yung BT Sport WWE Twitter account kasi sobrang lakas ng loob nila to call their shot and say, oh, maybe Dark Asuka's gonna come out. Tapos meron pang picture of Dark Asuka from her days in the Joshi scene. And then they also put Jay White there. Like, I mean, I also understand na hindi WWE mismo yung nagkocontrol ng account nun. Pero lakas ng loob ng taga BT Sport, ah. They woke up and chose violence this morning. All right, a lot of you in the comments are saying Rhea Ripley din na siya yung likeliest to win. So let's see kung sinong magiging Women's Royal Rumble winner natin this year. I will be happy if it's not Ronda Rousey. Because last year it was a surprise and it was like, Ronda. Okay.
Oh, actually, I have a question about that. Pero I'll save it after when we predict the men's rumble.
Oh, sige, let's go to the men's rumble. Ito, mas maraming announced participants. I believe there are like 16 as of right now. So those are the people in your screen. Obviously, meron pa mga surprises. So dun tayo magsimula, yung mga surprise entrants. We got to start with The Rock because people have been calling for The Rock to be involved. Pero meron din mga reports na conflicting na nagsasabi na he's not gonna know if he can get involved in the Royal Rumble for months. So I don't know if kung The Rock's gonna show up. Rowen, do you think Dwayne is gonna show up?
I mean, kung sinabi sa Young Rock that he's gonna be the Universal Champion, does it also mean he's gonna run for president in the future? I doubt everything that
Di pa
happens at Young Rock.
2032, Rowen. 2023 pa lang, so di pa natin alam.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't think everything that happened in the future in Young Rock will happen.
Oh, wala namang Republic of Belgium eh.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you guys really want The Rock to face Roman Reigns, like everyone is so obsessed, like, oh, The Rock will win the Royal Rumble. The Rock will return at the Royal Rumble. If you guys are really obsessed of The Rock and you guys want The Rock to face Roman, he doesn't need to be in the Royal Rumble match.
If The Rock's not gonna be in the Royal Rumble, who are the surprise entrants you're anticipating?
For me, it's gonna be Zack Ryder. I know he's not gonna win, pero he's been teasing it for months. Like he's sharing his throwback pictures in the WWE, his days from the WWE, and lately, di ba, parang nag-trademark na siya ng yung Zack Ryder name, and then his catchphrase, the "woo woo woo, you know it." I feel like he's gonna return. It's just weird that he came from Matt Cardona to and come back as Zack Ryder.
It's a WWE thing. Like when you go back, you have to use your WWE name. Kind of like see Drew McIntyre, but he was already making waves under his real name. And then he had to be Drew McIntyre again when he resigned. Ganun talaga.
Yeah. I just find it weird, you know. Parang naging hardcore siya for a moment, and then I don't know what his presentation is gonna be if he ever returns to WWE. Baka like Cody Rhodes treatment. Baka the way he came from AEW, like with so much pyro, he would show up the same in WWE, and yun nga nangyari.
Mm-hmm. People are saying Stone Cold, sabi ni Leo, as a surprise entrant. Sinabi ni Stephen Amell he'll be showing up at the Royal Rumble Premium Live event to support Cody Rhodes kasi they are friends. So Stephen Amell could be a surprise entrant at the Royal Rumble. I actually wouldn't mind that. I think Bad Bunny could appear kasi pinopromote na siya, di ba, as part of WWE 2K23. Ikaw, Emile, who do you think the surprise entrants will be?
I have a couple. The first one is KG Muto, because I think it will be a part of the agreement of lending Shinsuke Nakamura to Noah that for the match that happened nung January 1. So that's one. And second, if not The Rock, what if Stone Cold Steve Austin makes a surprise entry in the Royal Rumble? Considering there was a rumor a week ago that they have offered a shit ton of money for Austin to come back and face Roman. So what if it's Austin and nagpapakondition na siya eh. He has been posting videos of him working out, looking really good. So those are the two surprise entrants that I have.
So neither of you think the Switchblade Jay White is going to appear at the Royal Rumble? Kasi si BT Sport, pinangunahan niya na eh.
I mean, di ba may match pa siya sa New Japan this coming February. So I don't think Switchblade is making the jump yet to WWE.
Mm-hmm. You guys remember, diba, when people were like, "Oh, this is the year Kenny Omega's gonna be in the Royal Rumble." So, it's funny na every year there's always one New Japan guy na parang it's that guy. It could be Naito if Naito's actually gonna be a free agent and if he doesn't plan to re-up with New Japan. I don't know. I would probably pop if Tetsuya Naito showed up at the Royal Rumble with like his LIJ gear or whatever. Sige, let's go to winner picks. Who is likeliest to win and who do you think should win? Let's start with Rowen.
So who should win for me is Sami Zayn. again to just further up the drama with him versus the bloodline, and maybe someday ma-involve pa rin si Kevin Owens pero as the ally of Sami Zayn. Pero likeliest to win is Cody Rhodes for me because he's been manifesting it since last year's Raw after Mania. So he's gonna be a WWE champion. So maybe this is his first step, and he has to win the Royal Rumble first, and then main event WrestleMania.
Ikaw, Emil.
Actually, parehas na din kami ng sagot ni Rowan eh. Who should win? Sami Zayn because he's the hottest thing right now. Their storyline's the hottest thing in wrestling, and it furthers the storyline if Sami will win the Rumble. But I think the likeliest to win is probably Cody because they've been building this up with the vignettes, and they're really building up Cody like they did with Triple H in 2002. So plus, as much as I want Sami Zayn to win, his road to WrestleMania does not really necessarily need a Royal Rumble win. So,
oh my God, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one who thinks na wala namang masama kung manalo si Cody? Because realistically, it's Cody's only shot to get the Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
I mean, coming up from injury, diba?
Yeah, and mas masama kung si The Rock yung manalo.
Oh, I'm not gonna take a dump on The Rock, not on the podcast, but hear me out here. Everybody is saying na parang, like you guys in the comments, and the two of you ASHs are saying na Sami should win, but Cody's likely going to win it. I don't see why both of them can't get their shot at Roman at WrestleMania. Remember, it's a 2-night event.
2 nights. Yeah.
Why can't Cody, as the Royal Rumble winner, challenge Roman for the WWE Championship on night 1? And why can't Sami end the 3-year reign of the Universal Championship on night 2?
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Kasi, like, for the Usos naman, diba? They recently defended the Raw Tag Team titles. And eventually, down the line, they will defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles against whoever wins the SmackDown tournament. So, parang inihiwalay na rin nila yung unification ng championships. So it makes sense that both men could actually win. Like we could have the 94 Royal Rumble finish.
Why do we want that? I don't want two guys winning.
No.
We saw Gigi and JC simultaneously win the Battle Royal.
Oh, right. Okay. Malabong mangyari if it recently happened then. Okay. Yeah. But I have a question. So, for the past few years, diba, on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view or premium live event, there's a world title match defended. And kung sino yung natalo, they sometimes join the Royal Rumble match.
Yes.
Recently, si Brock and si Becky Lynch, they won their respective Royal Rumble matches when they had their own title matches at that same night. Do you think we should stop this thing na if you competed from your title match and then you lost, you should join the Royal Rumble match? Do you think we should stop that?
As in not allow people to do that? Ikaw, Emil, what do you think?
No, because ang hatak ng Royal Rumble match is you could go there, you could survive all these wrestlers, and if you get lucky enough, you will win, and you will get a title shot. Like everyone is eligible for the Royal Rumble, so why bakit mo papagbawalan yung natalo sa title match to enter the Rumble match?
Ako kasi for me, sorry, to answer that question, it was common. It's common. It never happened before 2005 and before 2000. It never happened in 2010 as well. Sobrang bihira yung mangyari. Like most of the time, the competitor who lost a world title match on the pay-per-view, hindi sila sumasali sa Royal Rumble match. Kaya it's just really odd that when it happens. Tapos last year, nanalo pa si Brock. And then 2017, when everyone hates Roman, he joined the Royal Rumble match and everybody booed when he entered number 30. Kaya
but Roman didn't win.
Yeah, but still, parang, you don't have to join.
Okay, Rowan, I get what you're trying to ask. And it's actually a good question, right? Parang, should we ban the loser of the title match at the Royal Rumble Premium Live event from participating in the Rumble? I think that in principle, it's a good question. But I don't think it's something that you should obsess over. Kasi tama si Emile, parang the Royal Rumble is like the wild, wild west. Anything can happen, diba? I actually like the fact na for someone like Kevin Owens, it's in his DNA to do something like that. Na matatalo siya, and then he's gonna enter the Rumble. He did that in 2021.
Yep, he did.
Diba? Right after the last man standing match, didn't he appear in the Royal Rumble match? I could be wrong, huh?
I don't remember. Pero last time I checked, in 2021, si Carmela lang yung natalo sa world title match and then entered the Women's Royal Rumble match.
Okay, I'm wrong. Kevin Owens did not compete in the 2021 Royal Rumble. But what I'm saying is that this version of KO na prize fighter na siya ulit, he's explicitly the prize fighter. It's really in his DNA to do something like that. So I wouldn't get mad if someone like KO does that. That being said, it does also depend on who pulls it off. So I think may double standard ako, and I'm gonna be self-aware about that.
Okay.
That's it. Those are our predictions for the 2023 Royal Rumble. Let us know what you think. Hit us up in the comments. You know where to find us. It is at Wrestling2XPod on Twitter and on TikTok. We're not going to have an audio-only part for this week's episode of the pod because really, we've talked about everything that needs to be talked about. But if you want to keep talking wrestling with us individually, it is at Monday Night Rowen, at EML_Meister, at Roeswar, at Chino Supersized, and at _Stan C. Let's get some plugs before we get out of here. Emile, anything you want to plug aside from your Twitter?
Just follow me on my TikTok. I post sports opinions there, sports videos. So yun na. Follow me on TikTok at EML_Meister22.
All right. Rowen, you're not lagging on my end, so if you want to promote anything, now's the time.
Okay, so I'll just promote the Pick of the Week episode that we had. I wasn't there, but what you guys had recently. And I want you guys to subscribe to Patreon and read our weekly wrestling reviews.
All right.
And on YouTube, subscribe.
Right.
YouTube ng Wrestling Podcast.
Hit like, subscribe, and comment.
Napaka-helpful ng ating mga ASH. Pinopromote nila lahat ng mga kailangang i-promote. So, all I'm gonna do is, Ina, yung picks of the week, that's gonna be a separate episode moving forward. We release that now every Tuesday. All right?
However, you can still comment sa Facebook post when we post the you can still give out your pick of the weeks during that time.
That's right. Okay, so thank you so much to everybody who tuned in, everybody who joined the stream, everybody who commented. Really appreciate everyone leaving a 5-star rating as well. We'll catch you on Sunday. Please watch the Royal Rumble Premium Live event on Disney+. Bulabugin po natin si Disney+. Magparamdam po tayo para hindi maantala yung live stream, para magkaroon tayo ng Tagalog commentary. We'll catch you then. Kita-kita tayo sa Discord para sa mga gusto maging part ng watch party. And we'll catch you again on Tuesday for the Picks of the Week episode and on Thursday at 7 p.m. here on Facebook and on YouTube for our next live stream. On behalf of Rowen ASH and Emile ASH, my name is Stan C, signing out. This week's episode of the Wrestling Podcast is in the books. Reach for the sky, boys! Rest in peace, Dre Briscoe.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.